Hey everyone, Nick Borrman here of SportsMemo.com coming at you to preview Thursday's Europa League matches. Just want to do a quick recap of yesterday, Wednesday. Won our official free play on PSG to advance over Dortmund, and client plays went 3-1 on Wednesday as we took PSG two ways, both to advance and in the game. And then we had Gladbach at home in the Bundesliga, over Köln. And then the only loss on the day was Liverpool, who shit the bed on us. They dominated the game. Should have won in regulation time, but listen, I give credit to Atletico. They did what they had to. They survived regulation. They parked the bus the whole game, and then took advantage of their chances that they had in extra time. So congrats to them. Shitty that we lost, of course, but we move on to the next day. Did want to mention a quick promo I have going right now on soccer. So through this weekend, you can get my 30-day soccer pass, normally $199 for half price. Use promo code MLS99. So get 30 days of all my soccer selections for just 99 bucks. You can get that through the weekend. So make sure to take advantage of that promo. That will cover any Champions and Europa League games, all domestic league action, Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, etc., and of course Major League Soccer, which has just gotten a season started. So take advantage. Head on over to my page at sportsmemo.com to check that out. Okay, on to Thursday. Preview the Europa games we have coming up. Quick note, there are two games already postponed, both Italy and Spain matchups. I had a freebie on Sevilla already kind of released 2 days ago before they postponed that game. And then Inter and Getafe is also postponed. Four of the other six matches Thursday, are being played behind closed doors without fans. So a lot of disruption right now due to coronavirus, which is all unprecedented. And on that note, I've got a few questions from listeners, and I've been questioning it myself. What do you do about this? How do you handicap games differently because of this? And to be honest, my answer is I'm not really sure. Like I said, it's unprecedented. We really haven't had to deal with this before. The one thing I do know is that if you look at the lines that are released prior to the announcements of the games being played behind closed doors, they aren't moving once those announcements come out. They may move closer to game time as money comes in, as it normally does, but from what I've seen right now, there is no immediate reaction one way or the other, which tells me that the odds makers don't know. Any big money coming in isn't really sure. So for me, I'm going to continue to handicap the games like I normally would until I see a reason to change that. And so far, so good. It hasn't really seemed to affect any of the games that I've been handicapping. So it's early yet, but we'll see how we go. And like I said, I'll just be honest with you guys, I'm not sure, but we'll definitely adjust as we move forward. But hopefully, this is all behind us sooner rather than later. So on to Thursday. So we got six games on the slate. We're going to touch them all. First up, Copenhagen at Başakşehir. This one opened up minus zero point 0.5 for Başakşehir, but they've been bet to minus 0.75. And at that number, I do actually like Copenhagen here, who just really they play a slower defensive style pace. You don't see many goals in their games either way, and a lot of the times their games are decided by just that one goal or less with a draw. They advanced past Celtic in the last round, who I believe is a better team than Başakşehir. So I like Copenhagen here in this first matchup. And a quick education, I like to call it here for first time or novice soccer bettors. Minus 0.75, weird number to see when you're used to betting, U.S. markets and half goal lines. So anytime you see a quarter of a goal line, or in this case, a three-quarter of a goal line, you're actually talking about two different bets. So your wager is split up onto the half goal on either side. So in this case, minus 0.75. Half of our bet is going on minus 0.5, and the other half is going on minus 1. So scenarios here, if Başakşehir wins the game by 2 goals or more, you get a full win on your wager. Bet 1 unit, win 1 unit. If Başakşehir wins by 1 goal, you've won the half of the bet that is minus 0.5, and you've pushed on the half bet that is minus 1. So you've won a half a unit. So bet 1 unit, win a half a unit. And if Başakşehir draws or loses, then you lose the full wager. So It's a way that the bet is split in half. The reason you see this happen is because soccer being a low-scoring game, there's a big difference between a half a goal and a goal. So instead of seeing maybe -1 goal at plus 125 and minus a half a goal at minus 140, they split the difference, throw out -3/4 of a goal at a regular -110 line or something like that. So that's the reason you see that, and that's a little bit of why that's explained that way. But on this game, again, I like Copenhagen in this first leg. I think a 1 goal loss is worst case scenario for them. So I'm kind of thinking half wager risk is kind of our scenario here to win a full wager. So pretty good value in that scenario. Next up, Basel at Frankfurt. You have Frankfurt favored by 3/4 of a goal, same number as before, and totals to set at 2.75. And totals, again, work the same way that the lines do as far as those quarter goal marks are indicated. So anytime you have teams, featuring from two different leagues, you kind of have to look at it, and I often do, like many listeners I'm sure are familiar with, and college football and bowl games, weighing one conference versus the other, and how does that affect these teams, their schedules, who's perceived to be better because of the conference that they're coming from, in this case, the league that they're coming from. In this case, Frankfurt coming out of the Bundesliga, much tougher league than the Swiss Super League, which is where Basel's coming out of. But I will go against the strength of schedule and strength of leagues play here because I like Basel. I mean, they've been playing really, really well this year. They beat a really good Sporting team in the last round from Portugal to get here. And Frankfurt is, for lack of a better way to put it, has just really been playing bad this year. They're way down in the Bundesliga standings. They're 6 points clear right now of relegation, so they're probably not in too much danger there. But it's certainly not in a safety zone. They still have to continue to make sure they win, but they really don't have any chance of getting a European qualification for next year. But they just haven't been playing well. Basel's been playing well all year. I caught a little bit of their match in the last round, and they looked really, really good. They're a well put together team. So similar to the last play with Copenhagen, I think 1 goal loss by Basel here is probably worst case, but I really don't see that. I see them drawing, if not even possibly winning this match. So I like the road team here in the second game. Third game on the slate at the 1:55 time frame Eastern is Manchester United at Lask, and this one's tough. I can make arguments either way. United are finally coming together and playing very well and look like a team that belongs in the top four of the Premier League, which they certainly did at the beginning of the year. Since the addition of Bruno Fernandes, they've been playing great offensively. On the other hand, I really like Lask, who have been playing great all year. They lead the Austrian Bundesliga. They have strong results over good teams like Sporting and two Dutch sides, Alkmaar and PSV, whom they both advanced past in this competition. Ultimately, I think United is deeper, a better side over two legs, and will progress from this matchup. But in this one game here, Lask at home is tough. And I would not be surprised for them to draw and possibly sneak a win, but at least keep this one close enough to cover this spread here in this first leg. Man United has failed to win the first leg away a couple times already this year, and I think this could be another situation here. So not big on this one. I would probably keep it small, but Lask is the way I would be looking at this one. Before we get into the next wave of games here at 4 o'clock, just need to wet my whistle real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, 3 more games. We have Wolves minus 0.25 going to Greece and playing at Olympiacos. Total set low at 2. Wolves, I really like them this year. They've had a great season in the Premier League. They're taking full advantage of their first trip to the Europa League in nearly 30 years. I like them to progress over 2 legs, but Olympiacos can be a tough team to beat in Greece. They just took down Arsenal in the last round, another Premier League team, and they were able to draw against Tottenham in the group stage at home when Tottenham was fully healthy with Kane and Eriksen in the lineup. The total set here low. They're 2 defensive-sided teams, and first legs always tend to be lower scoring. But at this number, I think it's more likely to finish over than under, with a push being a very likely scenario. So worth a few bucks probably on the over. As far as the side, though, I really can't make a true recommendation either way. Again, I think the Wolves progress over the two legs, but this game is just kind of throwing me a little bit. Gun to my head, I'm probably taking the Wolves. They're around plus 120 right now on the three-way line, but I think your money could be spent better elsewhere here on Thursday. Next matchup, Leverkusen at Rangers. Leverkusen favored by a quarter of a goal and total set at 2.5. This one features another German team versus Scotland Premiership League in Rangers. So strength of the leagues here certainly favors the German side. And on top of that, Leverkusen is playing extremely well and look like they can make a run to the final of this competition. Of course, anything can happen in one game, but there's little doubt in my mind that they are the better team. And catching them right now at a slight plus price, they're plus 115 on the three-way line. That's really the only way I would look to play this one. You could also grab a minus 0.25, as I described before about the Asian handicaps. And in this scenario, if Leverkusen wins, the bet wins. If the game draws, you lose half your wager. You lose the minus 0.5 part of the wager, but you push on the it's called plus zero portion of the wager, which is a draw would push on that side. So it would be a half goal loss if they did draw. And then, of course, if Leverkusen loses, you lose. But I like catching the plus price here on Leverkusen to win the game. Rangers is a good team, don't get me wrong. And at home, they can be really hard to beat. But Leverkusen is favored here over the two legs for a good reason. And they're just playing incredible right now. Kai Havertz having a fantastic year, probably going to end up in the Premier League after this season. So he'll certainly want to take full advantage of his chances here with Leverkusen to make a run deep in this competition. And the last game on Thursday is my official freebie. So kudos to you for hanging out through the video here to get to this one. You got Shakhtar at Wolfsburg, who's favored by a quarter of a goal at home and total set at 2.5. Another German side here, but do not sleep on the Ukrainian champions, who are always a fantastic team, and they always represent Ukraine in the Champions League. They have a ton of experience. This year they happened to get knocked out of the Champions League in third place, so they fell into this competition. But if you look at the results and watch any of their games, they play with the best. They drew at Manchester City in the group stage of the Champions League, and they beat Atalanta, who just progressed to the quarterfinals this week. They beat them in the group stage, so they can certainly hang with the best teams in the world. Wolfsburg is a team that doesn't lose very often. In fact, they're unbeaten in their last 8 games, but they often play in low, tight games. And Shakhtar is a team that can certainly hang with them, score with them. And honestly, I would not be surprised to see Shakhtar take this first leg. And I do like them to progress in the two legs over this. So I really like them. They're my freebie for this game and for Thursday. Take Shakhtar plus a quarter of a goal. So as long as we draw on this one, we're going to win at least half of our wager. If they win, they'll win the full wager. And of course, if they lose, then we're going to lose our wager. So draw or win, and we're going to cash a ticket here on this one. So that's it for the Europa League. Tomorrow, I'm going to look to preview all MLS games for this upcoming weekend. So we'll try to knock through those real quick, do a quick minute or so on each game. And a reminder, tomorrow, Thursday morning, if you're catching this on Wednesday night, the Players' Championship begins at TPC Sawgrass. I did a video yesterday previewing that, and I have my free play on Adam Scott over Patrick Reed. So make sure to take advantage of that. Grab that. Reminder, promo code MLS99. Take advantage of that 30-day promo for $99. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night for a preview of the MLS. So good luck on Thursday, and let's cash another ticket here with this freebie on Shakhtar. So thanks for listening, guys. Tune in, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.